I would like you to pay attention if you want to be a dedicated parent and a high-performing professional. Hi, this is Shweta here, and very recently I had a discussion with my senior team player where thankfully I picked up some cues that he was getting overworked, not able to rest properly, not able to focus properly when he was working from his home office, with kids demanding his attention and feeling very torn in between the family focus and also wanting to deliver on his priorities at business level. So we had a very candid conversation, and what I shared with him is what I want to share with you because it's absolutely from my personal journey. And there are some of the pointers which I would like you to pay attention if you are right now at that stage where you want to perform, obviously, in your role as a business owner, as a business leader, as a business executive, but then you're also trying to give the best to your kids, and especially when you are in your home office environment. So look, the age of my business growth idea is pretty much the same as the age of my son, who's now a teenager, right? So I have gone through that journey when he was this little baby and then toddler and wanting attention every time. He would want to sit on the lap, especially when I've decided to sit down and work. He would want to take charge of my keyboard and everything, right? And you want to give them that attention. At the same time, you want to focus in that moment, or you're having a meeting, all those bits. You know exactly what I'm talking about here, right? Now, look, I really hope that you don't judge because everyone has got their own parenting style, but I was very clear that the way my son was spelling love was T-I-M-E. In fact, even till date, he spells love as T-I-M-E. And I wanted to make sure that I was giving him high quality time. And that's where the discipline was required. Didn't happen from day one. I was struggling. I was being torn and feeling guilty and getting distracted, getting upset with my son when he would disturb me. He would go out of my home office with tears in his eyes, and I would be having tears in my eyes and just saying, how am I going to deal with all this? This is right at the beginning, when at the inception of the business. And then I had to sit down and said, look, this is not working out. We were very clear as husband-wife team in the house that our son needs to have extended hours after his nursery and then after his school. So even till the time he started commuting on his own, actually, he pretty much used to have his after-school clubs or extracurricular activities lined up. So he would be occupied till 5:30 or 6 o'clock. And once he is about to come back home, for example, in this case, my husband would pick him up. Half an hour before that, I would be shutting down all the work and actually getting the house and myself ready for the family to come back into the household. And then there was a clear window when there is no work that's being done. And once the kid has gone to bed, the son has gone to bed, it's like, if I have to catch up on some work, I will. Otherwise, it's early morning, the next day. Look, it might sound very easy said than done. I get it, but I've done it. So I know where I'm coming from. Now, at the age of, 1.5 years, 2 years, 3 years, during winter times, when you see your kid walking on the road and going to his nursery and you're like, oh, what kind of a parent am I being? It's okay. They are happy. They're absolutely happy with their friends. They are actively engaged. They're not being kind of pretended by their parents or them kind of getting irritated. They're actually fine. They're doing fine and they're doing well. Now, sometimes I hear parents saying that, oh, but it's expensive. Aftercare is expensive. Look, I get it. I'm really talking about business leaders, senior management team members here, because that's, these are the people who we work with very closely. Let me be very clear. You're a professional. You have certain desires and ambitions for yourself. And this is the promise I made to myself when my son was around 3 years old, that I will never let my loved one, be the excuse for me not to become what I'm capable of becoming. It's as simple as that. And there was an incident that happened which was the trigger for me to make this resolve. And till date, I'm absolutely on it. So if you love your kids and your partner, your family, make sure they're not becoming the excuse for you to not be what you can really be. So if again we're thinking about the monetary bit of it, sometimes and many times people become penny wise and pound foolish. It's like, spend that money on that cleanup, spend that money on that after school care or that club that your kid can proactively get engaged with. Do that hourly rate, because it will allow you to release your time, which will help you Obviously you're getting more time, but which will help you even generate more returns for yourself. And that's the mindset you need to have. Even over the weekends, I've seen people get busy, business leaders, senior players, they get busy doing ironing, cleaning. And when you speak with them, they're like, oh, I enjoy doing this. Sure, great, good stuff. If you're enjoying, great. But are there other better things you could be enjoying? Maybe spending study time with your kids, going out, having fun with them, having some leisure time for yourself, some thinking time. And these are high quality, high value activities, which are actually invaluable, don't even have a value against that. So make sure that you are safeguarding, you're protecting your time, because it's not unlimited. And the time that you make, therefore, you can give in a very undivided, in a very focused way to your child, when the child can make that out, saying that, yeah, you know what, my parent is there with me, totally engaged. Even if that's for 40 minutes, it's okay, it's worth it, rather than becoming distracted. Because kids sense it, that, they sense it. You're faking it, you're pretending, you're on the phone, you're trying to do your work. They get it, and they'll try to push you even harder to get that attention. And that's where things then start exploding, right? This is one point which obviously I spoke to my senior team player, and he got it. In fact, he was already thinking about these measures, which was so good to hear, that there is this level of maturity and prioritization, and doing what's right for the kids, doing what's right for oneself, and then having a beautiful family time together, because we understand the value of time. We understand that why many times you have to spend money to make more money and more invaluable time for yourself. Okay. So I hope that helps you understand. And the other thing, which for me as a parent was very big, was my son obviously knew that I am working in my business and on my business, whatever, doesn't matter. I am with my business, with my clients during my work hours. And if he's around and I'm distracted and I'm letting him come into my home office, or I'm doing other kinds of things, the question that I have to ask as a parent is, what kind of work ethics am I teaching my son? And remember, kids don't learn by listening. They learn by watching. They are watching you every second when they're around you. And they actually respect you to be disciplined, you to have clear boundaries, and you to be a professional, because that's what they're learning. That if my mom, my dad, if that's what work means, and they're enjoying their work and they're disciplined about it, then you know what? Those are the life principles they're learning from you. Otherwise, would you be okay that they are on their gaming device when they're supposed to study, or they are doing something else which they shouldn't be doing while they are supposed to be studying? So remember, we have to be aligned with what we want our kids to be, and that's the choice you're making. So be mindful of how you're conducting yourself especially when you're a professional, a senior player, and when you're there with your kids, what principles you are teaching them in a conscious and subconscious way. I hope that helps you. I really hope you can at least sit back and reflect and say where you are being penny wise and pound foolish, where you are trying to multitask when you should be very, very focused, where you are actually not giving the quality time to your kids when actually they deserve the best from you, even if it's for a shorter window, but they have got 100% of you and not a distracted version, because you want them to learn that, yeah, you enjoy your work, you're passionate about it, you're disciplined about it, and you give it 100% when you're working, and when you're with your family, you're 100% present. You take care and reflect, think, and remember, our loved ones, they spell love as Time. And at the same time, your business, your profession will give you huge rewards and huge returns when you are 100% present, doing the best possible.